Um, just don't ever give up, and just always believe in yourself. I mean, as far as musicians go, we're given a talent by God, and I think that it's a beautiful thing. That the gift of music is probably one of the greatest things. And if you're a musician, just don't ever give up. Just follow your dreams, follow your heart. You're not everybody's going to make it professionally. We're all on different levels, and that's okay. I mean, just be happy and be appreciative of whatever you have, and just do the best with what you have to work with. It's the best thing I can say.
No, sometimes basic is the way to go. But did you say what you use in terms of editing for video?
Right now, what I'll do is after I import it to the computer or upload it to the computer, I just do all the basic editing in iMovie. And I'm just learning as I go. Like I just uploaded, what did I upload? Yesterday, Tom Petty, You Wreck Me. And it was a video that I filmed back in December, right around Christmas time, but it just got put in the reserve pile. And I didn't have a new one ready because I had some stuff going on. Easter. I was busy last weekend. So I didn't have time to make another video. So I'm like, well, let me just bring my reserve video out. And then I put it into iMovie and just cleaned it up and just tried to do a little bit of this, adding text to it. It's like Tom Petty, You Wreck Me, drum cover by Rob J. King drums. And that's it. And then at the end I put, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. There's my editing for the day. That's about really all I'll do. Just minor enhancements. Maybe I'll reduce the sound if the sound appears to be too loud. I'll add some visual effects, like you talked about the black and white filter. I put that in a lot of my videos. And there's one on iMovie where it's called like Old Movie, where it shows like the lines going through like an old-fashioned silent movie, just to make it more appealing to the eyes.
Actually, yeah. Actually, it sounds a little bit more funny too. Does it show like the lines for like the lyrics? Is that how it does it, or what does it do?
No, it's just putting like lines in the video. Just like when you watch these old silent movies, the film quality was so bad there'd be just lines running up and down vertically.
Oh, those ones.
Up and down. Okay. Yeah, just vertically. I should have said vertically up and down. And then this one I just put up yesterday afternoon, the Take on Me by a-ha. The real famous 80s number. I did it as a short. I put this crazy filter that it makes me black and white, and it's all fuzzy, and it actually looks a lot like the video effect they used in that original video from the 80s. You'll have to check that one out. I like it for just a 30-second clip. It came out pretty cool.
Take on Me, actually, yeah. I work a second job at a local restaurant, and I sent in our playlists. That song normally comes up every now and again, so you can imagine how many times I probably heard it after a good year. So
I've heard that song probably 10,000 times. I still love it, and I'll tell you, Brian, that is a difficult song to try to. I don't know if when they originally did it was just all drum machine, but to try to actually play that, I mean, that thing is cooking. It's really fast, and I was like, thank God I'm only doing this as a short, because if I had to try to play that for the whole 3 or 4 minute song, I don't think I could keep up with the pace.
All right, fair enough.
It is kind of fast.
I did forget to ask, what sort of drumsticks do you use?
Right now I'm using Vader Power 5As. I've been using those since about 2018. I absolutely love them. Best stick I've ever used. The nylon tip, hickory. And I also use the Vader 5A color wraps to add just a little visual effect to some of my videos. Basically, it's the same stick, but they just kind of wrap some kind of tape on it, and it's like a rainbow tape or whatever.
I'm going to say, everybody always pronounces it wrong. It's actually the German word Vater, not Vader. So, I mean,
Vater.
Actually, I was editing a couple interviews as well, and I realized I was saying it wrong too. So, but that was
is it really Vater? Is that how they say it?
Yeah, because Vater, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Vader would be Vade.
Yeah,
But everybody says Vader. Everybody says that.
it's Americanized. I mean, what do you think we do? Yeah, in fact,
Exactly. Well, okay,
is it what we do with Chinese food?
here's a question for you.
Okay,
Is it Tama or is it Tama?
I would say Tama. I feel
That's
like,
what I say.
yeah.
And is it Peisty or is it paste? Because I always say in the beginning I used to call them paste symbols and I'd be like, no, it's not paste, it's Peisty. I got a set of Peisty 2002s. So is it Peisty too? Is that how they say it?
I think people who I have interviewed who have a good number of experience with those symbols. Yeah, I think they would say Peisty. That's the way I would interpret it. I can see why you would say paste because when you think of Peisty, it would probably be like either IE or Y at the end. But it's not. It's just TE. So you think, oh, it's just paste. And so
It's kind of like the car, the Audi. If you say Audi, I own an Audi. That people that own those cars get highly offended if you say Audi. Oh, he's got a nice car. He's got an Audi. It's an Audi.
Audi.
Yeah.
Is that Australia? No, is that why?
I don't know. German? Is it German? Are they German? German cars? I don't know. But yes, I use the Vater sticks, and those are the best sticks I've ever used. I used to use ProMark. I used ProMark for years back in the day. I used the 747 Oaks, and I love those sticks too. And then I remember Vic Firth was the first one to kind of get me away from the ProMark. And I hated the Vic Firth, no offense. I just hated those sticks. I just would break them. It didn't matter what. I tried several different types. Was it like the sugar maples? Do they have like a sugar maple?
I don't want to say no. In fact, I actually don't even know what.
I tried. I want to say it was a harder, it was more dense stick, and those broke. The hickories, I did 2 minutes into it, they'd be gone. So then I went back to ProMark. And then for the longest time, I stayed with them, just trying different series, just going back and forth between like the 5As and the 7As. And then I got hooked up on the Vater sticks, and I've been using those ever since. And they're great. I don't really have to worry about sticks breaking anymore with with the E-Kit. I think I've been using the same pair now for the last 4 years. And sticks have gotten pretty expensive from what I'm understanding. I know
we can fake inflation for that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I watched one of your interviews last week. I forget the guy's name. Really, it was one of the coolest interviews. John, I think. John Hoff, maybe? Is that him?
There's actually been a few Johns, but I guess.
You guys were talking about sticks, too. You were talking about the price of sticks and how expensive. And I looked them up, and I'm like, man, these guys ain't kidding. These sticks are like $20 a pair now. That's like double what it was when the last time I bought them. I still have my brick. It's in the closet. I got my brick of the Vaters, and I'm sure it's gonna outlive me.
I always got to laugh when people always said Vader too, because do you know a drummer in our community named Rockin' Vader?
Oh God, yeah.
He's really cool. He's a really cool guy. In fact, every time they say that, I'm immediately thinking of his red sticks that he always keeps playing, and it always glows when he's hitting the.
Very unique, channel he has with the whole spaceship and dressed up as the Vader. It's very, very original. It's cool.
He actually started including the stormtroopers now. He actually was the Blur, I think, was one of the songs, song 2, and.
I don't know if I've seen that one. I missed that one.
Now the stormtroopers are playing the guitar and bass. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, something like that's got to take a lot of work to put that kind of stuff together. All the editing and everything that's involved with his videos. Some of these guys, it just blows my mind. What they do with their videos. I'm connected with this guy, Marcus Drums, and he actually incorporates like the original video. Like if he's doing whatever cover he does, he'll take that original video and he'll blend that in and then mix it in with him playing. It's really cool. And I told him on the comments section, I said, it's just like watching Headbangers Ball, It reminds me of those days of turning on your favorite videos on Saturday night,
Yeah, he seems like a pretty funny guy, because I guess he also includes some friends of his too. They're jacking around doing all sorts of funny shit here and there. And
yeah, he's a riot. He is a riot. That guy's a riot. I'm connected with him on Facebook, and we have video calls quite frequently, and we'll just be talking for quite a while about everything and anything. He's funny.
I really tried to get him on too because I've always at least have a fun time just like talking about random stuff like here and this and that. But I have a hard time trying to reach him. I don't know if he gets like real busy or something, or whether I'm contacting the wrong person.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's available. You just have to reach out, I guess. I mean, I usually just wait for him to hit me up. I just let him initiate it, and whenever he's in the mood, he'll hit me up on the video call. He'll message me first. Hey, what are you doing, homo?
Yeah.
That's his sense of humor.
I'd be like, is that all you wanted to say? Are we done here?
Is that it? He'll send me like a little TikTok video of something, one of those little hilarious short videos, and then I'll send back the laughing emoji, because on the iPhone, you can make your, what do they call the guy? You can create your own avatar, I guess. And I'll send my face, with the tears coming down my eyes, laughing. And then the next thing I know, he's calling me, and then we're just chatting about everything, He is a cool guy. Mike Conway is another cool guy I'm connected with. Have you interviewed him yet or no?
Mike Conway?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that was a while ago. I think it was summertime of last year. I finally got him on. Yeah, we talked about Van Halen and stuff like that. And
God, isn't he nuts with the Van Halen stuff? He's one of the best I've ever seen. I don't even want to do Van Halen anymore after seeing him play Van Halen. I'm like, it would be an embarrassment for me to even try it. Because he's just got the sound, he's got everything dialed in, and his kit is so crazy and unique. Has he talked much about that kit, like what he's done to customize it? And
I'm sure he did actually talk about it a good bit. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
I'll look for that. I'll look for that on your channel, and I'll have to watch that this week.
But yeah. So yeah, he was obviously more a big fan of the David Lee Roth days than Sammy Hagar.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Even though I tried to like poke him like, hey, you want to do like a collaboration with like Sammy Hagar? That was once. So
exactly.
He's actually kind of backed away from it a little bit. Now he was like doing other sort of 70s and 80s groups. I don't think it was the most recent one, but I think one was like Kiss. It was the song Deuce, and it was a live version.
He did do that. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, he does some other stuff. He did this one where I guess it was part of a collaboration, but I just watched his solo version where they had the blindfold, something about a blindfold challenge. They all had. I was like, what is this? I'd never heard of that before, but I guess it was him and a bunch of other guys. Mike Few, there's another guy, Mike Few, music.
Yeah, he actually came up with the blindfold challenge. And,
yeah, he's the one that came up with it, huh?
Yeah.
I
interviewed him. He's a really cool guy.
He's a really cool guy. I'm connected with him on Facebook too.
You always see the comment, "Nice work, boat." Those.
Yeah. What is it? That's like brother. Is that what it means, brother or something?
I believe so. Yeah. It was.
Yeah. He always puts that. Everybody responds back to him with the same thing.
I don't know. I always find it funny too because at first, did you think it was boy at first?
To be honest with you, I didn't know what the heck it was. I'm like, what is this?
I was thinking, I don't think he's going with that American slang would be like, nice work, boy. That sort of thing.
Nice work, boy. Yeah. So. I guess I can kind of see how you can mistake it for that. Yeah, definitely.
Well, it's kind of along the same lines, spelled the same way, but instead of like ET at the end, it's like Y, but whatever. We learned a little Afrikaans, as he calls it, from Mike Few. So, in the German art community. I strongly recommend doing a blindfold challenge. Actually, I did it one. It was the song was "Ladies and Gentlemen" from the band Saliva. Have you heard of it?
Oh yeah, that's a great song.
I figured it was fitting too because it was kind of the music video kind of showed like a ring with like these two chicks. They were fighting against each other, and one jokingly in a bottle takes cocaine. So just to kind of. I don't know if that's really true. I don't know if cocaine's ever liquefied, to be honest. But regardless, it was still pretty funny. So I figured that'd be something.
Yeah, that's a perfect song for that with the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, the guy on the microphone, amped up on the mic. I could see how that would really work. I don't know if I'd want to try something like that. Maybe just for fun, but I'd be afraid to have it posted. Because I'd be making so many damn mistakes. And
that's why I'd say don't do something that's like overtly difficult. Like do something that at least challenges you, but. I know a couple times I was doing it with my eyes closed. I was making sure to get the feel down. So I think now I get the feel. I know where the feel is with the where everything needs to go.
Yeah, the spacing, you got the spacing down of where all your stuff is.
Yeah.
So you have to have that down. But yeah, no, it's definitely a great community. When I took a couple years away from making videos, unfortunately, my oldest brother was hit by a car and killed about 2.5 years, actually almost 3 years ago.
Oh God.
And yeah, it destroyed me, and I lost all my motivation, and that was actually right before COVID really got started getting big, and I just stopped playing completely. Not because of COVID, just because of that. And it took me so long to get the motivation to start playing again. And my wife she's one of my biggest supporters. She has always been there for me, and she pushes me all the time. She gives me suggestions for songs, and she tries to build up, my confidence. And you can play that, babe. You've got that and everything. So once I finally decided to come back to playing drums, was the beginning of last year. So it was about 2 years I took off from it. I said I was going to start getting really aggressive playing again. I was going to start playing every week, making videos, and I've been doing it ever since. At least for the time being, I'm going to keep going with it. Whether people watch my videos or not, I'm motivated to play again. And I'm having right now, Brian, I'm having the most fun that I've ever had playing drums. And in 30 plus years of playing drums, 40 years, what am I talking about? 40 years of playing drums. I'm having the most fun right now. I forgot how old I am.
Next thing you know, he's going to be saying, Jesus, I'm old. That's everything. I actually got that a couple times in my
it's a shocker.
interviews.
Once you hit your 50s, it's kind of a little bit of a shock to the system. And now I'm entering in my late 50s, and it's crazy. So
it's a lot to take in, but I am really sorry for your loss. I guess.
Thank you.
I know you talked about your brothers. Did you guys have that sort of brotherly love sort of thing where you did love each other, but you kind of roughed house every now and again when you were young?
I had awesome brothers. Like I said, they introduced me to music. I mean, they got it all started for me. I give them all the credit. We talked about in the beginning with the Cosmos Factory, the other two records that had a huge impact on me was Don McLean, American Pie, with the thumb up on the record with the American flag, and Who's Next by The Who. And I'd probably say I was about maybe 4 years old when these records came out. And that's really what introduced me to music. And constantly they introduced me to more stuff. And we had a great relationship growing up. We always did things together, listened to music. I had a brother who used to take me to concerts constantly. Very first concert he took me to was Blue Oyster Cult. It was Blue Oyster Cult, UFO, and a band called British Lions. And I was 12 years old. And God, to see UFO, they were one of my favorite bands then. And Blue Oyster Cult was just amazing. Yeah, so great brothers I have.
I was going to say, they bring out the cowbell when they did Don't Fear the Reaper.
Maybe. I cannot remember, but I know they were deafeningly loud. God, the just like when British Lions played, they were the opening band. I mean, you could barely hear them, right? Then UFO came on, and the sound got so much better. And then when Blue Oyster Cult came on, then it was just a whole new level. And it actually was just too loud, and it hurt my ears. And I was, like I said, 12-year-old boy. I was standing there like this, It was painful. I'd say the loudest band I ever saw was Triumph.
Really?
And
wow, I would have thought Slade.
Who?
Slade?
Slade?
Yeah.
That was the loudest concert you saw?
No, I always want to say they were the first band that always wanted to turn the amps up real loud. So I always thought that was I want to call it the Slade effect that all the future classic rock groups started imitating, and even the 80s metal groups that came afterwards, where they just wanted to turn it up as loud as they could and just shoot off all these fireworks and everything else. So that's what my dad said too, because he saw Slade before, and he actually had the privilege of seeing Rainbow when they had Ronnie James Dio and Richie Blackmore.
That would have been amazing. That would have been amazing to see. I did see Dio a couple times, but never saw him with Rainbow, or even with Black Sabbath. Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
Just the ultimate front man. God, I love Ronnie James Dio.
he
Just
always he was always funny whenever I listened to a song too, especially when he just randomly shout like "knockout" that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So
Did you ever hear the band Elf when he was in that band Elf?
I've not heard their music, but I've heard the group. I know that's how where he started, and then
Yeah,
he eventually
that's
formed Rainbow with
some different.
Blackmore.
That's really cool stuff. But that's some different stuff. Like if you listen to Elf and then you put on something like Holy Diver, I mean, there's a big difference. Yeah. What an amazing performer he was. Just
I would say don't talk to strangers from that Holy Diver album was probably actually my favorite.
yeah.
So
I don't know if I could even pick a favorite. I mean, for me, I love all the Dio. But maybe those some of the later stuff that he did. After I think Sacred Heart was probably like the last album that I got on a regular basis from him. And then I know he changed his band around and he got the 16-year-old guitar player. Remember him, Rowan Roberts?
was this when they were first starting off? I think I'm thinking too much of the guitar player he had on the Holy Diver. Was that him, or was this somebody else?
No, that was Vivian Campbell, who later went on to play. He played in Whitesnake, and then he's currently in Def Leppard. No, Rowan Roberts came after, and when Dio got him, he literally was like 16 years old, and everybody was like, "Oh, you got to listen to this record." I forget what the album was called, and I was excited about it because I had been a big Dio fan. But when I bought that record, I was just not overly impressed with it. Not to take anything away from them. It just didn't have the same feel for me as the first three records. First three records were just amazing, especially Holy Diver.
I'd say, yeah, Vivian Campbell's guitar player is
God.
otherworldly, to be honest. So,
Yeah, just insane.
but I guess out of every group that we have mentioned, I guess, is there one who's been a big influence on your life?
Oh, definitely. Probably the band that influenced me the most and made me want to play drums was, like I talked about, was Rush. Hands down, they're my favorite band. I don't do I don't do any of their covers for obvious reasons. I mean, Neil Peart was just the most amazing drummer and all-around musician that I think I've ever seen in my life. I've seen Rush. I saw them so many times in concert, and I actually was fortunate enough to see them on their final tour in Phoenix. And God, just as amazing on that night as I remembered for the very, very first time I saw them. But yeah, they hands down had the biggest influence on me. Their music, I love all their records. I've never heard a song that I didn't like by them. I even love that song that he did with the Great White North. Remember the Great White North song? I can't remember those guys. Who are those guys? The comedians. They're like Canadian comedians. But Take Off to the Great White North, and it was a funny song. Bob and Doug McKenzie, maybe.
Yeah, not really ringing any bells, but I imagine they
They used him to kind of, they used Geddy Lee. He came on and he sang back up on that, and then that just kind of made them a little bit famous there for a while. But I mean, yeah, Rush, Genesis. I love Genesis, Phil Collins. Of course, Rainbow. A lot of the progressive stuff like Dream Theater, Fates Warning. There was one band I liked too for a while called Watchtower. They were really proggy metal, very heavy metal and progressive at the same time. And then all the 80s melodic stuff. I had many influences on my music, on my drumming, I should say.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Like different stuff.
It's mostly like the groups from the 70s and maybe ones that carried over into the 80s.
Definitely.
So
For me, it is. I couldn't even tell you, like, I don't listen to anything current. I kind of stopped listening to maybe around when I actually got out of the music scene professionally playing, which was in 2019. I just kind of quit listening to anything. So anything from like 2019 and on, I don't even know really what it is. And I'm sure I'm missing out on a lot of great stuff. But I have so much music in my collection, to keep me busy for the rest of my life. And I don't mind listening to songs that are 40 or 50 years old because, in my opinion, that music was the greatest music ever made, and it is timeless. And it doesn't matter if it's 50 years old. It's to me, it sounds as good now as it did the day I heard it. So it
Yeah,
satisfied me.
yeah, absolutely. It still holds true to these days, even though
Yep.
I know on the radio though it kind of gets a little bit of annoying too because maybe they'll start rehashing a playlist all over again, or
Yeah.
maybe covering like their big hits. So that's kind of the
Yeah,
downside to it.
the radio is kind of lame that way. I mean, I listen to a guy on YouTube who talks about that all the time. He does like a podcast type thing, and I listen to him every day. He always has a video. He talks about how the radio does not support bands anymore, especially these bands from the 80s, the melodic bands. And if they release something new, they're not going to play it. I guess Def Leppard had an album recently, and I'm sure that's not getting any airplay. Obviously, Journey came out with that record, I think last year or the year before. Freedom, I think, is their newest one. That's not played, but they're going to play Don't Stop Believin'. They're going to
Or any way you want it, that's the way you need it.
They're going to play separate ways, and I mean they're great songs, but I mean it'd be nice to have to share some of their newer stuff with people, especially people that may have never heard it or they don't even know about it. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
absolutely.
choose not to listen to the radio. I have an old-fashioned iPod Classic that I listen to when I'm at the shop, and then once I get on the road, then I transfer over to my iPhone, and then I play the songs that I'm going to be working on for my drum covers, and then I'll just pick an album to listen to on the ride back. Whatever album I feel like listening to, I'll just listen to that on the way back.
I do have that. Did you have that? I don't know. I always want to say it's like a condition for me because it was like I have to listen to only the specific artists, otherwise nothing at all. Did you have something like that? Does that make any sense? Because back then for me it was like 6 groups. It was like Metallica, Vertical Horizon, Three Doors Down, Bush, which was a British punk group right there, Bruce Springsteen, and I'll throw in Van Halen. Yeah, I'll throw in Van Halen in that mix. It was like those groups or nothing at all. Did you have something like that?
Oh, definitely. I mean, back in the day, I was telling somebody this recently. I mean, back in the day, I had I had 4 bands that I listened to: Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Dio, and Ozzy. That must have been my high school days, and that was it. I mean, I liked other stuff, but that was all I wanted to play, and I just played it over and over and over and over. I probably drove my family nuts. You're playing that Iron Maiden again? But yeah, I definitely do that. And I do that today. I mean, like right now, I listen to this band called Hardline. Have you ever heard of them?
Oh shoot, I was thinking of Midline actually, because actually there was a friend of mine actually who was part of that group, so that's why I was thinking at first. I think was that him, but no. I think I might have heard of Hardline, but what's some songs that come to mind?
Well, they first came out. It was originally with Neil Schon from Journey, Todd Jensen and Dean Castronova, all like part of Journey, with this guy named Johnny Gioeli. And it's melodic rock. The big hit they had back in the day was Hot Cherie, and it's a great song. You'll have to check that out. Really great melodic songs, just cool riffs, just catchy tunes. Neil left the band and put the Journey thing back together, but they continued on, but they're very, very underground, and they're probably just really popular in like Europe. They're on like Frontiers Records, so they obviously get no exposure. Phenomenal band. I mean, you can find their music on on YouTube, Spotify, and all that stuff. I've downloaded a few of their records. I think the one album is called Leaving the End Open or something like that. But I play that record quite a bit. I listen to Survivor, Vital Signs, with some of the big hits on there. Just a lot of that stuff is what I like to listen to.
The band doesn't really seem to ring a bell with me, so I might have heard it at some point, but I didn't know it was actually them, so hard to tell. So
yeah,
I'll have to check it out.
It's not popular. I wouldn't expect a lot of people to know it. It's not a popular group, and as far as exposure goes, you either got to really know a lot about them or you're never going to hear them. So.
Well, speaking of which, when we were talking earlier, or messaging back and forth, I know you seemed a little, I don't know if hesitant's the right word, but I know you didn't seem like answering a question about COVID, but Normally, when I bring up the question about COVID, for instance, it's more just knowing how it affected you personally and in some ways professionally with your job. So, I guess how bad did COVID impact you?
To be honest with you, it wasn't really that big of a deal. We got sick. Me and my wife got sick. We both got sick together, so that was kind of cool. But it only lasted really like a week, and we were back to normal. I was very tired, and I had some back pain from it. It was definitely different from any other kind of sickness I ever had, but it did not affect my job. I took the week off from work, and then I was right back. My company stayed open, and no effect there. Obviously, just the usual, like the lockdown stuff, but I mean, more just an inconvenience than anything else. But I know it impacted some people, far worse than others. But for me, it wasn't that much of a big deal, and I was back in business.
I guess did it kind of have some sort of blessing in disguise being able to get back into YouTube and drumming?
Yeah, you can kind of say that. Yeah, I mean, with when what happened to my brother, and then finally getting through all that, and getting back to my channel and getting back to playing drums, because now that if I was playing in a band, yes, I could definitely see where it would have had an impact there, because of obviously the bars closing down, stuff like that. For that period of time, a lot of musicians were out of work. But for me, I had retired from it, so it didn't affect me there. And luckily, my company, the line of work I do, there was no effect. So obviously, if I was in a restaurant or something like that, it would have had an impact. But I was fortunate that way. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good to hear too, and good to see him getting out stronger and better. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel fine. I mean, I definitely feel fine. Aside from the taste and smell, that kind of tweaked that a little bit. There's certain things.
Yeah, I think I can relate.
I had to give up. Like right now, I can only drink cherry 7-Up as far as sodas go. Cherry 7-Up, root beer, and like tea, like sun tea, like a lot, and water. A lot of other things. It kind of really tweaked the taste to. I had to stop wearing cologne. I used to wear cologne a lot. I loved to wear my cologne all the time, and I would put that on after the whole COVID thing, and I was like, it just smelled this funny smell. So I guess that's a good thing, because that cologne was costing me $150 a bottle.
So thank you, COVID. There we go.
Thank you. I got an extra $150 in my wallet every couple of months. That stuff is expensive. I mean, I wasn't buying that crap at Walmart. I mean, I was getting the good stuff. My wife's the one that turned me on all that, because I was using the real cheap stuff. I don't know, Stetson or whatever it is at $20 at Walmart. I thought that was good, and she's like, no, we're getting rid of that crap. So
I was just trying to think of something funny. Maybe just like she loved the smell of it so much it turned her on, that sort of thing. So
I was gonna say, what kind of experiences did you go through with the whole COVID thing?
It came as a little bit of a surprise at first, because I'm telling you, like, it's only gonna be like, oh, it's just gonna be a couple of weeks or maybe a week at the very least. So that was actually the first time I started working from home, actually, and went through like literally almost 3 years working from home before they tell us to finally go back into the office. But it felt weird, to be honest. I mean, we were totally fine up until the whole thing with Nashville, because that's what I told you. We got sick with COVID for the first time.
Yeah, you escaped it for a while.
Oh, we might have actually had it, but maybe it was just real brief or something like that, because I know I think at times when winter came along, it kind of blended in maybe with the cold or something like that. Mm-hmm. But like I said, it just felt weird, and it seemed the whole world kind of went crazy all around you too, as I'm sure you can attest. But
oh god, yeah.
And I mean, it felt good working from home. I mean, it saved money on gas for the most part. Didn't have to do anything with parking or anything else. So.
Oh yeah. That's I'd love to be able to work. My job would be impossible to do from home because I'm a driver. But yeah, if you have an office type job and doing it from home is awesome. Did your taste and smell get affected or no?
Honestly, I don't really know. I mean, I hope not, but I mean, I've been able to still enjoy some of the same drinks I've usually drank with Coke products and stuff like that.
Yeah,
As well as,
you would know for sure. You would know for sure. So yeah, luckily it didn't happen. I don't think it affected everybody's taste and smell, but for me it tweaked some stuff. So I'm glad that it didn't affect you that much. That's good.
yeah. So that's all it does to do it in the future.
That's
if we
yep.
go
That's
to any other major cities. So, all right. So, let's jump into some fun questions right here, and then we got one more after that. But, so you ready for some fun questions?
Sure.
All right. What's your favorite alcoholic drink?
Okay, this is going to be funny, and you might not believe this, but I actually don't drink. I don't drink at all, so I don't have a favorite alcoholic drink.
Did you used to drink, and did you give it up at some point, or did you?
It was something that I never ever started. I tried it, and I never liked it. I never was able to really acquire a taste for it. I tried beer before, absolutely hated beer. I really did. I think probably if I had to say anything that tasted kind of good to me was just a basic Jack and Coke back in the day, But it was just something that I don't know. I never really had an interest in doing it. And I know being a musician and playing in bands, and especially during the time period that I was doing it, it was so popular, and I got so much crap from people for not, what's the matter with you, and the more they said things to me, negative things to me, that I didn't do anything, the more I chose not to do it, just to throw it back in their face. But I'm not against it or anything. It's just, for me, it's never been a big thing. But I did like the taste of a Jack and Coke. It was pretty good. So yeah, maybe that is my favorite, even though I don't touch it. We don't even keep any in our house. Nothing. My wife's the same way. She doesn't drink either. So
Actually, that's very good too. But I know it's like a prerequisite whenever you join like a rock group or something like that.
Yeah, it's just, especially that time, when I first got into it in the mid to late '80s, it just was everywhere, And if you weren't doing it, you were considered a freak, I mean, it's like, what's wrong with you? Everybody does it. That's kind of what I got, and I'm like, well, I don't need to do it. I'm doing this because of my talent, because of my love and dedication for music. That should be all that should matter, And if it doesn't matter to you, then I don't want to play with you. That I had more problems with people because of it. It's kind of funny looking back at it now that was basically the premise of it. It's like, if you didn't drink or you didn't party, then you weren't considered cool, or you weren't considered a good fit for the band.
No, that's a really good point. Yeah, but actually, it's a good thing you don't drink too much, or I guess I haven't drank for a good while. I guess I'm not too sure if you, every now and again, whenever you go out to a restaurant, do you have Jack and Coke?
No, even in a restaurant, they always say, oh, would you like a beer or wine? No, I'll take a tea, or I'll take well, I used to drink Coke, but I can't. That's one of the drinks that got ruined for me from the COVID. So now I'll have to do like a cherry 7-Up, or I'll have to do a root beer. Really about it as far as soda,
Fair enough. And I guess, would you say those are your favorite drinks?
Yeah,
non-alcoholic?
Non-alcoholic, and tea, and sun tea. I absolutely love tea. I just love it. It's great.
All right.
Unsweetened tea is really good.
Unsweetened, yeah. For your drum covers right here, was there ever a song that was too tough for you to play, and did you either give up or come back later to finish?
Oh, man. Yeah, there's many, many songs that were too tough for me. Any Rush song, I was like, forget it. One song that really gave me some problems, but I did eventually get it up there, and I posted it, is Another Day by Dream Theater. And I did that one drumless, which is really difficult. The drumless songs, when you actually think about it, they're actually harder to do. And some of these guys I talk to that do drumless tracks, they're running a click, and I don't run a click at all. So I'm trying to keep that tempo going, keep that timing going in my head. That song gave me so many problems. I just could not get the right feel for it. And it's not an easy song, but in terms of Dream Theater, it's pretty easy compared to most of the stuff that they do. I mean, they're way out there with the drum patterns. But I remember I was trying to do Thunder Kiss 65 by White Zombie. And that was one I played in a band, and I thought I played it pretty good. But man, after revisiting that, I played that song when it was new. So that's probably 20, God, that's probably close to 20 years or 30 years, Brian.
Something like that. Yeah.
So when I tried to do that, I tried to do that one when I first started getting back at the covers again. Could not get the feel. I got frustrated and walked away from it. Um, I would try to do "Turn It On Again" by Genesis. Got frustrated on that one, walked away from it. So yeah, there's many. We could go on all day with the songs. I tend to pick songs that are a little easier, you know. Not to say that I can't play something difficult, but just the amount of time I want to put into it, and I still want to keep getting videos up almost every week. I just try to work on songs that I know I can get by the end of the week. You know, obviously a Dream Theater song or a Genesis or a Rush, that's not going to be a song you're going to get within a week. You're going to have to take a lot of time to break it down piece by piece, learn all the parts, you know, and then rehearse it for a long time before you choose to post it. Because when you go and do something difficult like that, you know all eyes are on you. Like they're going to be looking for every last little minute detail to be right there. And if you didn't accent it just right, or you missed a ghost note, or you didn't hit the china, or whatever, the people are going to be all over you. So I tend to keep it a little bit more basic, if you will.
Yeah, I would say those kind of comments. It's like, really, can you just shut up and just enjoy the song for once?
Exactly. It has gotten better though. I mean, back when I first started my YouTube channel, people were horrible. You know, they said I look like a construction worker. You're fat. You look like the Big Show. I had one guy tell me I look like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I could kind of see that actually. That actually would be something to do, like for a jump cover, just like kind of dressed up as him. So
I got to get my Austin 316 shirt on there.
Absolutely, but all due respect.
Yeah, I mean, but I think over the years that they've changed some of the guidelines, right, on YouTube. I mean, like I don't even see like the thumbs down anymore. Like I used to always see the thumbs. I know if you go into your YouTube studio and you check like the analytics and stuff, you can see who dislikes the stuff, but. Boy, back when I first started, man, people were real critical of every last little detail. So I guess today I still just tend to play the easier stuff, you know, stuff that I can learn quickly and I know I'm going to do a good job and it's going to be impressive to people.
Yeah, they did change it now, at least on the main page. It's just mainly the thumbs
Yeah.
up, or you can still hit dislike, but you won't really see the number, like how many people dislike the video.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
they should just do away with that in general, because I think that's such a waste. And it seems like such a downer whenever you actually do go in analytics to see it.
It's stupid, you know, and then that's where you see that people only watch your video for, you know, 10 seconds or 15 seconds too. You see all that kind of stuff there too, you know. But I'm not going to let that stuff, you know, get to me. I try not to let it get to me. In the beginning, it did. It used to really piss me off, you know, and bother me. But now I'm just whatever happens. You know, I'm putting it out there for people to enjoy. I know a lot of people do. I know a lot of people don't like it, and that's fine. You know, if you don't like it, I know I can't please everybody. So I'm basically just doing it to have fun and show my talent to the YouTube community, you know.
Absolutely. But I guess speaking of the drum covers, is there one that's been your favorite so far, or I guess one you got planned?
Some of my favorite ones. I just did the Motels, Only the Lonely. I'm pretty happy with the way that came out. I like the one I did by Shinedown, I Dare You. That's one of my favorite ones. Probably my all-time favorite, not because of how I played it or anything. It's just important to me. Is I did It's All I Can Do by the Cars, and that was the first video. And that's the crappy audio version, though. But that was the first video I did when I got my set of Roland TD-30s, and that's the first video I did after my surgery. So that meant a lot to me to be able to come back and do it and not really lose anything on it. You know, people were just like, "Oh man, this is incredible. Your timing is perfect." And I was in so much pain, Brian, when I made that video. My hand was killing me because that was only like 4.5 months after my surgery.
Oh man.
So
you could see the tears rolling down the face
yeah,
right there.
I was in every every hit on that snare was ow, ow, but I just was smiling and going through it, you know. So that video is very special to me. Just
It's like the cartoons where they're trying to like show like a smiley face, but then it's like they're cringing at the same time because of the pain. So it's like
exactly. That's what I was like. Oh, try not to look, you know. But yeah,
don't look up at the camera. So
yeah, those are some of my favorite ones. Those are for different reasons. I put a lot of time into that Shinedown one. I worked on that one a lot, and it's pretty. To me, it's a pretty intricate song. Just the patterns in that song, and I tried to play it literally exactly like Barry plays it on the original recording. And I think I came close. I mean, I missed some stuff, but it was about 98% accurate to the record. So that one's that's one of my favorites for sure.
that's good to hear. And I think the last one here, I think you already kind of touched on it somewhere in the interview, but what's currently your favorite song? Or one that you happen to listen to a good bit?
Oh yeah, it's just like we talked about. I'd probably have to say, I can't narrow it down to a song, but it's that Hardline, man. I'm telling you, that record. I just can't think of the name of the record. I want to say leave something about leaving the door open, but that record from start to finish is just phenomenal because it's kind of the best of both worlds. It gives you like that melodic 80s type vibe to it, but it's really progressive at the same time. So it's a little bit of both, and it's every song from start to finish is good. If you get the chance, I'm telling you, check it out. If you like melodic stuff, you will. I guarantee you will like that record, or you'll like anything by them. But that's probably one of my favorite bands that I'm currently listening to, and Rev Saints. I forgot Revolution Saints with Dean Castronova. That's also really good.
I think the problem is I got like a whole list of like songs like I do with my drum covers, so I have to like listen to so many of those groups first before I jump into like anybody else. I think I got a long list. Like like every interview, I probably say like, oh, I gotta check it out, and like,
oh, I know,
I haven't checked it out.
Everybody's telling you, you gotta listen to this. Yeah. No, the majority of the music I listen to is the stuff that I'm gonna work on for the full lengths and the shorts. And my wife gave me about 30 songs last night for shorts. And all different type stuff, different genres. So I've got a lot of different stuff that I'm going to start currently working on. I mainly post rock, but I'm going to do some country. I'm actually going to do, like, I got a couple Prince songs I'm going to do. Some disco stuff, some R&B, So like MC Hammer, some of the rap stuff. You're going to see some weird stuff.
Oh, God. As soon as you said MC Hammer, I immediately think he's going to do "Don't Touch This," that sort of thing.
What is the song? I think it is that one, but I don't want to mislead people too. I mean, I don't want to put this stuff on my channel just so I get a bunch of views or interest, and then they go and check my channel. Like, but this guy, all he plays is rock. Why is he playing like MC Hammer? So, I think the thing with the shorts though for me is just to do different stuff, just to go off and just try something different. Like I did Drake Milligan. Sounds like something I'd do as a country artist. I just did that as a short where I'm wearing a cowboy hat. I did a band, Mercy Me, a Christian band. So I try to do different stuff for my shorts. Keep it interesting,
Yeah, I try to mix it up too, but it's always been like in the rock, alternative, and metal scenes. So I don't know. I feel like that's just where I want to be because there's obviously a long list of bands to obviously play with too. So
that's totally fine to keep it within what you do. Do you have? I don't remember. Do you have a lot of shorts on your channel?
I got some, but it's hard keeping up, to be honest, because mostly my shorts are just kind of like little promotions, like what I'm going to be releasing. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
I kind of wish I was able to do like what I would call the practice sessions, like songs I'm practicing on that might do and release in the future. So
that'd be cool.
It's at least up there, so I'm trying to make it work. So right now, a lot going on.
Definitely, yeah. You're a busy guy with all the podcasts and interviews. You always have stuff coming through the feed. I'm like, man, he's active on this, and you have 2 jobs too. So you're a busy guy.
Yep, as you can obviously tell. So I was trying to figure something else. Actually, what? I was thinking, since you mentioned MC Hammer, I didn't know if you were going to do "Don't Touch This," but I thought you'd just do a nice little short
You know,
I was trying to think you like do the dance in front of your driveway, or like your
no,
wife's getting ready to touch the jump set, you just like lightly slap it away, be like, "Don't touch this."
no, it's that would be pretty funny.
Yeah,
I wish I was really good with editing because then I could come up with something cool. But it'll just be some cheesy video, me behind the kit just playing it. She was we were just on YouTube last night and just going through on our phones, and she's like, "Well, try this one," and she's messaging me in Messenger, and I'm just like, "Okay, that's enough." You give me about like 30 suggestions now. It's like this is too much.
all right.
So I'm gonna be busy for a while.
Yeah, you and me both. So best of luck going forward to you, Rob.
Awesome, thank you so much.
All right, so Rob, we are kind of nearing the end of my podcast right here. Did you have any other questions or any shout outs or final words you want to say before we jump into it?
Oh, I just want to thank you, Brian, for having me on here. It's been a lot of fun. Very, very great time sharing our stories. I appreciate that much, and I appreciate all the support I get and the interaction I have with all these great guys out in the YouTube land. It's so much fun, man. It's a big part of my life, and it's filled a void for me, in my life. It's very, very, very special to me, and I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I look forward to many more years.
Yep, it's good to have you along on this YouTube journey too. So the way it's going to work, there's actually two separate questions. So this last one's part of the main podcast line, and then one's going to be a separate question meant for a separate video at some point. So I'll walk you through it once we're near the end there. But this last question for the main podcast, given what COVID has done, and considering people have been impacted in some way, whether even pre or after COVID, as you've kind of went through, what sort of message of hope could you give to musicians out there, as well as people?
Just don't ever give up, and just always believe in yourself. I mean, as far as musicians go, we're given a talent by God, and I think that it's a beautiful thing. That the gift of music is probably one of the greatest things. And if you're a musician, just don't ever give up. Just follow your dreams, follow your heart. You're not everybody's going to make it professionally. We're all on different levels, and that's okay. I mean, just be happy and be appreciative of whatever you have, and just do the best with what you have to work with. It's the best thing I can say. Yeah.
That's the way. I was making sure.
That's my belief. I mean, we're all on different levels. Some of us make the big stage, some of us play in clubs, and some of us have just these little YouTube channels. And it's just an awesome thing. And just don't ever give up. Just believe in yourself and don't ever give up. The more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. I truly believe that. You got to put in a lot to get out a lot. It just depends on what you want.
Gotta make a lot of sacrifices before you make it to the top, so to speak.
Definitely.
So.
And that really goes for everybody, not just musicians, but just in life in general. I mean, if you expect a lot out of life, you're going to have to put a lot in. Nothing's going to be handed to you in this world, and you got to work hard, and you got to believe in yourself, and you got to believe in God. I mean, I truly believe that having faith and everything. I'm not the most religious person in the world, I mean. But I do believe in God, and I believe in the powers, and I think that more people need to feel that same way.
Absolutely. Spoken like a true prodigy.
Yeah.
So, I always like pulling that line too. So, all right. So, Rob, we've reached the end of my podcast right here, and here's what's going to happen. There actually is one more question, but it's actually part of my Patreon page, which my patron, Rick Griffin, actually had given me. Mm-hmm. So we're going to wrap this interview up here. But just stay on the line, and then we'll go over that question afterwards. It's just one.
Cool.
But just to wrap up this interview, did you have any final words or any shout-outs you want to give before we close?
Just a big shout-out to you, Brian, for having me on here, man. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
No worries. And how else can people reach you outside of YouTube? Are you on any other social media?
I'm on Facebook. I had the link is right there on my YouTube page. If you're on the desktop. I think. I can't seem to see it on there on the mobile, but it's on there. Just Rob Kingston. I'm on Facebook. That's it. That's the only other place you're going to see me. You won't see me on TikTok or anything else, but Facebook and YouTube.
We just keep it simple too.
I love communicating with people. So look me up, subscribe to me, check out my channel.
Absolutely. All right. So everyone, my guest today was Rob Kingston, hailing from Arizona. He's got a good channel going on, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Go check him out on the socials. And we got one more question we're going to go over, but in order to see that, make sure you come over to my Patreon today and become a patron today so you can see what this question is. So, Rob, this wraps up the interview right here. Stay safe. Stay tuned, y'all.
Thanks, brother.